Hello everybody and welcome to AskLRR here on the LoadingReadyRun YouTube channel. My name is James. I hope you're doing well today. And it's time for more of your questions. But first, let me introduce my guests. I have a Cori.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
I have a Matt.
Hello, hello, hello.
And like a 52 deck of cards shuffled an infinite amount of times, you'll never see the same three people on the show? Question mark? I don't think
there are 52 of us.
Yeah.
At last I checked, I think there are 52. And I don't think I've ever done this with you two in particular. So, systems working. Hey, thanks to all of our friends over at YouTube in the membership area, where if you too became a YouTube member, you could ask questions of us right here. Every month, Heather gets a community post out that can only be seen by YouTube members. And that is where we pull the questions for this show from. So if you want to go check it out, there's a little join button below the video. And I think it's like $5 a month, and you could ask us questions. And of course, this and everything that we do is brought to you by you over at the Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Thank you so much for all of your support. So yeah, we are back for another month of AskLRR, and we are all ready to answer your questions. Paul, hit us with question number 1. Mr. I should wear glasses. Mr. FVCD asks, Matt, oh, this is easy. As a young whippersnapper, what is the first thing you remember doing on/with the internet? First question, how old are you?
I am currently on this year of our Lord Luigi, 33.
Okay, you're not that young. I was a little concerned you're going to be like
a baby.
27, and I was going to explode into dust.
Ben?
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, yeah, so you're older than Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I guess I always thought you were younger than Ben.
Just out of diapers.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Jordan's younger than Ben, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
But Jordan's not here, so.
Not here, yeah.
Okay, what's the first thing you remember doing?
I will be turning this question to the two of you because you're also on this panel.
Yeah,
but I am not so young that I did not experience the dial-up tone.
Okay.
So the first memory in my mind is going on the internet, like calling up the internet and like connecting to it to go on for like half an hour to one of those like kids websites with all the
closed
games.
garden
Yeah.
thing, like the Lego website.
No memory of what specific one it was. Other than that, I don't think it was really branded or anything. Maybe it was one of the ones that a TV show told our parents to go like, send your kids here.
Yeah, like
Right.
the Disney afternoon play space.
So wait,
Something
how
like that.
old were you when you, if you had dial-up, where were you when you had dial-up internet? Were you here? You weren't here, right?
Nelson in the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, this would have been maybe 96-ish.
So how old were you? You would have been
6-ish.
God, you were on the internet when you were 6? Madness. Yeah. All right.
The first place that I really actually spent time on the internet was DeviantArt. Because a friend of mine did art,
Yeah.
posted there, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be a good friend. I'm going to make an account. This is the first real account I had
Yeah.
on a website. Was there. The first account I had on the computer was ICQ, but only for
Hell
like a tiny bit.
yeah. ICQ 402067776.
That's a long number.
That was my ICQ number.
But anything else about what you did on the internet? In your
So,
days?
okay, so I am turning 40 in October, just to give you an example of how old I am.
What a baby.
And so I remember also, the first internet we had was definitely dial-up. It was here in Victoria. I'm born and raised Victoria.
Do you remember the specific dial-up scream that it made?
I mean, it was, yeah, I remember the connection noise.
Yeah.
And I remember we were with a company called IslandNet. And I remember we had 10 hours of internet a month. Like, that's what we had. So you could be on the internet for 10 hours a month, and then once that 10 hours was up, you were done with the internet for the month. Boy, do I wish we brought that back. I have no memory of my first thing I did on the internet. Again, I would have been, I think it was probably 90. It was probably 96, which would have made, no, it must have been earlier because that was 13. I think 96 is when we got cable. Or maybe it was
Right.
like 97. Yeah, it was like the summer between grade 7 and 8 that I got cable. So it probably would have been the like earlier to mid 90s, 93, 94 when we got dial up. And I don't really remember what I did. I think I remember going to like message boards of some sort or chat rooms.
Just
but
ICQ.
ICQ didn't exist then. ICQ came later. So, but I don't really have. I do remember what I did when we got cable. I was a little bit older, and I definitely just stayed up all night on some chat room. Where like so it was like a chat, you'd go to the chat, I can't remember the name of it, but you'd go there and you would select like your interests, and then you would be just in this chat with everybody else, and everybody was typing ASL and
Yep.
and just talking about, I can't remember what we were talking about at the time. I think Warhammer, honestly, because that's around the time I was playing Warhammer 40K for the first time.
Because you had money for it, right?
Oh yeah, tons. But yeah, I think that's about it. Corey?
I'm 35 and just got a computer when I was 7,
Okay.
but internet might have been a little later. I remember when we got cable and I downloaded an MP3 and I
Oh
blew
yeah.
our entire month
Of bandwidth?
bandwidth.
Oh,
Which
hell yeah.
MP3?
I have no idea.
Oh no.
Man, that's a good point. I guess when I got cable, we would have had a bandwidth limit, but I don't remember what it was. But we could just be on at all times. Bless you. It was wild. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I remember dial up and like not picking up the phone, but it was mostly at like other people's houses. Like my cousins had internet earlier. I remember them going to a website called Stick Death, which I think was just a Flash animation
Of the-
series of stickmen dying
Yeah,
in very
yeah, yeah.
some bloody ways.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
And then I went on Neopets and such like, and I played a lot of MUDs.
My version of Neopets, roughly that kind of website, was Gaia Online.
Oh,
But that was later than DeviantArt by a couple of years at least when I joined there.
yeah. I remember like 98, 99 doing HTML for my Neopets.
Oh,
So you
heck
could
yeah.
make a little fan website for your own stuff.
Cool.
How desperate and starving are they right now? Your
Oh, they're
Neopets?
gone.
They're long dead.
They're gone.
Oh, okay.
We mourn them every day. Yeah. All right, next question. Blue Cherry Wolf. Desert Bus is only 2 short months away. How dare you? What are you doing to prepare yourself for it, and or doing to prepare for preparing for Desert Bus? Which one of you picked this question?
I did.
What are you doing?
It'd be like I used to have like benchmarks and things. Would be like, okay, can I caramel dance in 5 minutes?
Right.
Right. But nowadays it's just like wait for information and then go where I'm told and then wear the stupid costumes.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like it's just like wait until Ian's started whatever his projects are and then from there build on what I can do.
Try and remind people to order whatever costumes the shift is going to wear
Yeah.
early.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Desert Bus is one of those things that just kind of happens, whether you want it to or not. And I don't individually prepare for it anymore. I obviously prepare for it in the sense that I help organize it. And obviously there's that aspect. But like when it comes to my like personal, like what am I doing to prepare? Nothing. It just pops up one day and it's all I think about for 2 weeks, and then it's over, and then I push it to the back of my brain again.
Yeah, try to get a little bit of sleep beforehand.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The primary preparingness that I do, because I do editing for LRR, is that in that week of Desert Bus, we're not doing editing, we're doing Desert Bus. So I'm preparing myself to get ready for that week or two prior, where I'm going to try and shift all that editing bandwidth, scrunch it up a bit.
I
so
will
that
say,
we're
I mean,
good.
the nice thing about this year is like your office, you have an office now.
Yeah.
And nobody's allowed in your office. That's going to be a rule. That doesn't
You've got a door that closes.
Stay the hell out of the offices of people whose office they are.
Ooh.
We have the five offices. Those are under no circumstance to be used unless specifically asked of that person. So if somebody wants to use your office, they have to ask you. So theoretically, you could still work during Desert Bus.
I will also be on shift, so that will be my work for that week.
All right. I guess. All right, moving on. Next question is from Gregory Leverton. The three of you come from three distinct eras of LRR. How do you think this impacts how you view your work and or the company? It's actually a really interesting question. Because, it's like we've got the beginning, the middle, and closer to the end. Although, Matt, you've been around for like 5 years now.
I think like at this point in time, I have been around at least Desert Bus for half of the runtime of Desert Bus.
Yeah.
By year. That feels weird to me. And then I've been working at LRR for, I would say, a third of the time it's been operating.
So like about 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the biggest difference I think between me and you, James, is that you feel like this company, probably, I'm projecting onto this onto you. You feel like this company is yours because you develop it throughout all the years, along with like Paul and Graham and
They did some stuff, sure.
They did some stuff too. I contribute to it. It's not
interesting.
my company.
Right.
I didn't rear it. But I'm helping it out.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think I definitely, I think that's absolutely true. I definitely look at this company as
Your baby.
I mean, not my baby. This was never anything that I had any intention of doing. Like, I never really thought of myself as somebody who would be in front of a camera or be an entertainer or do any of that kind of stuff. And it all just kind of happened over the course of 20 years. But there is definitely a sense of ownership, and like, I'm not so, I don't know, down on myself not to believe that I have had a meaningful impact on where we are as a company today. But I also believe that to be true of everybody here, you and everybody else. I think everybody contributes, and we are who we are because of every single one of us. So, I think that's kind of how I sort of view the work and the company.
It feels like it's like really transitioned in the last like 5 years. It's grown up as a company.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To having employees and healthcare.
Yeah.
And like people get paid.
Yeah.
Like the first office that I ever visited, and this was when I dropped off a couple hats to lend to, I think, Feed Dump at the time, was Moonbase Mark III. Completely different vibe.
That was still like very Clubhouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone would just hang out all the time.
The bathroom never got cleaned. I never actually saw the bathroom, but that's what I heard. It never got cleaned. Unless Serge was there sometimes. And then everyone moved to Moonbase Mark IV for that 1 year.
Down the road.
Delta.
Yeah.
And that I could feel was the start of the big shift.
Yeah, I think that's probably
Even
fair.
That was
I'm an
also the
outsider.
shift to streaming.
Yeah.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, that was a big shift to streaming and a big shift to like
Live started happening that year.
Becoming more focused on considering, I think for a long time we were like written, like, pre-recorded written comedy. And we were, actors and, and stuff like that. And I think, at least for me personally, I think of myself, I think of myself as the production manager, but second is entertainer and not actor, like maybe we once used to think of ourselves, which has been, I think, a big shift over the years. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I moved here to do sketch comedy. And the year we moved here, y'all decided not to.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking that personally.
I'm sorry. We're gonna do the sketch remastered thing soon.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that's gonna.
I don't
be
know if we
fun.
told people about that.
Yeah, people know.
Okay,
about
got
it.
it.
Yeah, So, but yeah, that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a lot different than it was many years ago, and it has grown up a lot.
We have our own offices now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't, but you do, so that's nice.
Weird that you don't.
I don't need one. It would be wasted space. I can do everything I do at home. I don't need to come into the office to write emails and update the calendars and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm very happy with where we are now. Now the goal is just to make it so that everybody can get paid even more money.
Yes.
Patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. Next question. Daniel Solis, what's your most memorable con story? Pretty easy for me. Magic. No, it wasn't Magic Con. It was Magic Fest 2019, Las Vegas. And there was these kids. They were probably like early 20s. And one of the kids' dads had basically paid to bring them all out, and they had rented one of the penthouse suites in the Westgate, literally where Elvis used to live. And so they were like, "Hey, we're gonna have like a little bit of a party, like a hangout up in the suite at some point. And would you and like the rest of LRR and some of your friends like to come?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a lot of fun." And so a bunch of us ended up going up there and hanging out with, there was probably about 25 of us for the night. Gorgeous space. It's in the vlog for that con. So you can actually go back and I think see parts of that area and what we did there that night. But that was wild. That would, like, being able to spend time in that suite in that city was just completely ridiculous. Yeah, I think that's number one. Most memorable for sure. Cori?
Head empty. I don't remember anything. I've been doing conventions for like almost 20 years now. Just shut it down.
Yeah.
Matt?
I am kind of the opposite of you, Cori. I've been to one convention with LRR and maybe the same convention 3 times with some friends.
Right.
In like university years. The memory I have is going to those ones, Otafest, I believe, in Calgary.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing Synaptic Chaos Theater
Right.
before ever meeting anyone.
Yeah.
I don't actually remember at that point seeing Cori performing in the ones I saw.
They didn't put me on stage.
Okay.
They kept me in the audience.
I remember Beach, though. He makes an impact on people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give you another one then. PAX West, I don't remember what year. It was the year that they announced Desert Bus VR. So it was the Gearbox panel at PAX, which has historically always been a very big panel. And so I can't remember what year it was, but they wanted to involve us some way in introducing Desert Bus because for obvious reasons. And so what they came up with was I personally would sit on stage just off to the side, but visible, the entire 1 hour panel with the VR, with the goggles and the controllers in my hand. And it was black in there. I wasn't actually playing the game because I don't think it was even playable at that point. They just knew it was coming out. So I was sitting in complete blackness for an hour, pretending to play Desert Bus VR, literally just doing this for an hour while the whole rest of the panel happened. And then at the very end, what's his name? Randy? That's the Randy Pitchford, the guy who, I don't know, is he even still around? Whatever, who cares? He's like, "Oh yeah, let's talk about this dude who's been off on the side of the stage for an hour." And then they introduced Desert Bus for Hope.
Right.
And played a video. And yeah, totally surreal experience. Just sitting on the main stage of PAX, completely blinded by the VR headset, pretending to play Desert Bus. It was so weird.
That sounds like a form of torture.
Kind of. It was super strange. I mean, it was fun. It was memorable.
Honestly, I
yeah.
have like really fond memories of the time Ian met Graham
Mm-hmm.
because Ian was already a fan of Loading Ready Run, and we were going up an escalator to get to the green room for a SCT show for warm-ups, and Graham was coming down after grabbing a snack or something like that, and
Yeah.
so we were going up and they were going down, and then Ian introduced himself to Graham, and they stood there shaking hands while walking backwards on their respective escalators for
Great.
quite a long time.
Like an awkward amount of time.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's weird. All right.
it was great.
Cool. Next question from Harold. What is a game series that you'd like to see make a comeback?
Now I forget what I was gonna.
Oh no.
What's a game series you'd like to make a comeback? Oh man.
I have an answer if you guys
Yeah,
wanna...
go for it.
Yeah.
Just I would say a complete, like, let's start fresh on this one. Tabula rasa about it. Not tabula rasa.
Not that game. No.
Parasite Eve.
Okay.
They ended it with like the third or fourth or whatever part of it going real weird and like not in a good way. Mm-hmm. But 1 and 2 pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's just a genre that you don't.
I never played any
Get.
of those like action shooters.
Well, and that one was like an RPG action shooter.
Okay.
Like you would open up the menu as if you were in Final Fantasy 12, for example.
Right.
To put in a command and everything's paused. And then it would activate the commands after you put them in, and you're on an ATB kind of thing. In a way, it was kind of like 12 before 12 happened. But you're dealing with a mitochondrial menace
Dinosaurs.
and dinosaurs and like weird stuff.
Like
Weird
they
science
have like
stuff.
Metal Gear level like storylines.
Yeah, and the tenseness that you could feel in that kind of game. But it has gameplay that you don't see otherwise, right?
And I've remembered my suggestion, which was Sherlock, which is a game that if you watch Sugarshot, Julie, our friend, sometimes between streams she'll play this game. It's like a logic puzzler, and I played a lot of it as a kid, but you just get like a sequence of rules to determine how to set up like this grid of things. It's like houses, people, signs, favorite foods, something else.
It's a logic matrix.
It's a logic matrix.
Yeah.
It's just like this person is to the left of this person, and you just kind of build it out, and then you finish, and then go on to the next one, and it's kind of randomized, but it's very satisfying.
You just get Sherlock saying in a very British way, "Good job."
That would be nice. Yeah, that for the sequel.
You know, it's funny. If you'd asked me this question like 3 or 4 years ago, I would have said Baldur's Gate. And like, look at where we are now. So
Yeah,
that's kind of nice.
They made an extremely horny game about it.
Yeah, they did. What's a game series you'd like to make a comeback? Give me more Uncharted. I love me Uncharted.
Did they like complete that series and they're not touching it anymore?
I mean, I don't. It's like 4 was a very nice bow
ending.
and like it was good. Yeah, like I would not fault them for not bringing it back. I'm just greedy because I love those games.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
next question. Glusol, you all have 6 hours to dig a 16 by 16 square hole.
Yard.
Who's getting the deepest? I mean, I would like to believe that I do. But wait, so are we wait, hold on. So we're talking real life?
Right?
So we're 6 hours digging a 16 yard
By 16 yards.
by 16 yard square hole. How
I
many
guess they
how
want
many
like punch chunk rules where you have to like
like
do
yeah.
a full level.
They didn't mention that, but I think that's what they're referencing. So I think this dude, this pal, this guy.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you right now how many. I mean, it doesn't even matter. I was going to be like, how many feet in a yard because I don't remember.
3.
It's 3. But it doesn't matter because if we're doing it in Victoria, all 3 of us are going to hit rock
Right away.
pretty much in about an hour. So I don't think any of us are going to get farther than anyone else. And I think that's what's going to happen. And it's going to suck.
I would just be astonished to have free reign over that much open space in
true.
like anywhere near downtown Victoria. Unless I'm wearing a hard hat and I'm working on a construction yard, in which case I better be getting paid for this.
And then you get to blast.
Yeah, then I get to
it's true.
blast.
One of these days, I'm going to do the IRL punch a chunk. I'm going to find a piece of land that the owner is like, yes, you may dig a. Thank you, Paul. You may dig a so technically speaking, it should be 16 meter by 16 meter because a block in Minecraft is meant to be a meter a meter cubed.
And we're Canadian.
And yes, and we're Canadian. I would love to find somebody who would be willing to let me do that because I think that would just be hilarious. It would also be nice if I could be guaranteed to dig more than like a foot below ground because like I don't think for a second I could dig much deeper than maybe 6 feet.
Oh yeah.
And I guess that's a little morbid to think that I'm digging a 6 foot hole.
Can I have a backhoe?
I mean,
Just in general.
that would make it much easier.
Yeah.
I would love you forever.
All right. I'm going to rent a backhoe. I'm going to get Cori about, 50 feet by 50 feet of lands and just be like, happy birthday.
Yeah, just contact Fortis BC first.
Yes. Yeah. Always call before you dig. That is the rule. Sorry. Next question. What's that name? Pash Blackcoat. Pasha Blackcoat.
Yep.
What's your favorite thing about the new office?
Air conditioning.
The AC is very good here.
Air conditioning.
And Studio A and this room B, they have their own isolated units.
Yes.
So the rest of the office can be a different temperature.
Yeah, so just above the TV that we're looking at with the camera is a nice little mini split unit. And so it sits alone in here and we have control of it. It's on right now. It's a nice comfortable temperature in here. Might even be like a little too cool if honestly. Yeah. And it's so much nicer. It's quiet. You aren't hearing it. And we have another one in Studio A. We actually have a third one in the server room, but that doesn't really matter for us because none of us hang out in the server room. But yeah, the
Each
AC
does.
it's true. The AC is great. I love the size of Studio C. It makes everything that we do in there so much easier. There's an infinite amount of room to move the cameras around if we're shooting on AFK, if we're shooting on the live set. It used to be that like if you set up, if for instance like the PPR, and I'm saying that because we're a couple days away from Wilds of Eldraine. If in the old Moonbase you had done the PPR, the only real space for you to like stand and like occupy space in that office would be like basically right at the entrance. Anywhere else you would either be in a dark corner or you would be in front of the cameras. Here, there's just so much room for activities. It's great. You can even just be, it's like even with Friday Night Paper Fights or with Live, we just have so much more room for people to actually like hang out in the space while we're doing things, which just kind of makes the whole thing feel a lot nicer. So I think Studio C is like my number one. I'm also a big fan of the new Friend Zone. I think it's the nicest one we've ever had.
But we've also got like that old L-shaped couch in Studio C
Yeah,
now,
in Studio
so-
C, which is just another place for us to kind of hang out.
Another place for naps. Yeah.
Yeah, you fully stretch out.
Yeah.
It's great.
I would be remiss to say that I don't enjoy having my own office.
Yeah.
But I think that Kathleen and I did some good work on decorating Studio C
Yeah.
to the point where I'm like, yes, I am proud of the work that got put into that.
Yeah.
'Cause
The
it really
AFK
got,
set.
it really got polished up.
Clean.
Yeah, it's clean. It's no longer it's both functional and
Aesthetic.
yeah, it looks really good. I was gonna say something else and now I've completely forgot.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cori?
It's escaped my mind.
The location's not bad.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Thank you. It's a better location.
Yeah.
Yeah. Further away from my house.
And
It's-
mine, yeah.
It's actually it's within a minute difference of my house. I thought it was going to be closer, but it's actually not. Because it's like once you get to the point where I have to turn left to get to the new office instead of going straight to the old office, it's about the same distance between continuing straight or going left to the new office. So that's it's whatever. But overall, everything about the space is fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't think. Oh, here's a question. Follow up. Is there anything you miss about Mark V?
All of the mice that we gave names to.
That's not a good answer.
Very convenient food.
That's true. I mean, we can say now there's a Subway downstairs.
Well, and Bold Butchery. So
And-
you could just
yeah.
phone down and be like, hey, I want shawarma.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like 10 minutes and like, do.
Yeah.
Just pop downstairs.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is the one. That's a good point.
Just like the mice would do.
I think they came upstairs
Yeah.
from downstairs. All the food was on the ground floor. We were upstairs. I think the mice came up when they ran out of food from downstairs, I guess. I don't know.
Or to
Or
rest.
the karate studio has some secret sauce
Oh,
in the
yeah,
back.
that's true.
I don't know what's involved in teaching Krav Maga, but
Mice.
Mice.
Lots of mice.
Yeah.
The studio is actually run by 60 mice in a trench coat.
that explains a lot.
Yeah. We should have clued into that fact. Next question. All right. I think this is our final question for the day. This is from the Dave413. They ask, what's your third favorite dinosaur?
I don't know enough about dinosaurs to distinguish, oh, this is a dinosaur, or, oh, this is a
Fake dinosaur.
fake dinosaur. I don't even remember the term
Okay,
for it.
I'll accept this because my number 2 pick, which I'm not going to say, is a marine reptile.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So all whales.
Right.
Yeah. Fittingly, my third favorite dinosaur is the Triceratops.
I was going to say Triceratops.
I wasn't going to say Triceratops.
Well, which Land Before Time character were you the most into?
Clearly not Daddy Tops.
I'm trying to think of like, God, I've that's an interesting thing. I've never really been a dinosaur guy.
Neither, really.
I
Like,
had the
I-
magazines and the glow-in-the-dark skeletons.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember being a big dinosaur kid at all.
Mm.
And I can think of all the normal dinosaurs that everybody knows, but like that's about it.
What niche children's topic were you really into?
Like penguins or something?
Well, no,
Were
not
you like
really.
a wizard kid?
No, I wasn't a wizard kid. I like Ghostbusters.
Sports?
I like sports because I was a sports kid. Like I played hockey and soccer
Did you
and
collect
baseball
cards?
and stuff. I definitely collected hockey cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I was more into like, I don't know, Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters was sick.
So what's your
But like
third favorite Ghostbuster?
Ghostbuster, man, they're all my favorite. They're like my children. I can't possibly.
Even the new
pick-
ones and the new ones?
Yeah, I like all Ghostbusters. I like the new Ghostbusters movie, both of them. Have you seen both?
I've seen both.
Okay, did you like them?
Yeah. The newest one, the reboot.
The
with
reboot,
kids,
yeah.
It was definitely like a kid's movie.
Yeah,
Whereas the other one was definitely for adults that were fans of the
of the original.
yeah.
Brontosaurus.
That's the long-necked one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
well,
is
it's
my
not real.
number one.
Well, then why were you questioning whether it was the long neck one? Shouldn't you be able to immediately say, the long neck one?
Because I'm not very good at the names.
Well, they're called brachiosaurs.
Damn it! What's a brontosaur?
Made up.
Made up?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we make everything up. Everything's made up, Corey.
So true.
Yeah.
Remember, kids, everything is made up. All right, I think that we did it. I think that we got through all your questions, and in such excellent timing. We're in, we're out, 34 minutes. That's why we're called the
Ghostbusters.
That's why we're called the Ghostbusters. thank you so much for asking your questions this month. If you'd like to ask questions for next month, please consider becoming a YouTube member right here on the YouTube channel. It costs you $5 a month. You can check out the link below. There's a little join button. Every month, Heather will post a community post that is only viewable by those who are members here, and you can ask any of us questions. We generally, I think, let you know who is going to be on the podcast, so you can specifically target your questions towards those 3 people. So keep your eye out for that. And of course, everything that we do is brought to you by you over at the Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Thanks to Heather. And what's your name again? Brontosaurus for joining us today. I've been James. Paul's running tech today. Heather gets these online.
I'm Cori.
See y'all next time. Bye.